Hi Flosstube, it's Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. This is Flosstube number 12. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch, and I am just going to be talking about cross stitch in today's video. I want to say welcome back to all of my existing viewers and subscribers, and a very warm welcome to those of you that are new. I hope you stick around and you enjoy what you see. So we're going to be talking about one fully finished item, which actually I've just realised I've not got. Is behind me. You can't see it at the moment, but I do have an FFO. I'm going to talk to you. What is wrong with my voice? About my works in progress, how the end of Stitch Mania went, and some haul that I've got. Bit of a life update to begin with. Not really much has happened over the last couple of weeks. I have finally finished my marking allocation. So you may remember me saying I was doing a little bit of exam marking. That has now finally finished, so I have much more of my own free time back now, so I can dedicate it a little bit more to my stitching, but also sort of getting out into the garden. And I'm not really a keen gardener in the sense that in our previous house we didn't really have much of a garden. We were sort of on a corner plot, so we had a very small sort of triangle garden that didn't get an awful lot of sun during the day. So we had no flower beds, nothing to kind of maintain apart from the grass. So we didn't really need to worry about gardening before. Now we've got a much bigger garden. I mean, it's not massive, but it's bigger than what we had. And there are beds all the way around, and it takes a lot more maintaining. And so far we've not really done an awful lot with it. It doesn't look wild or anything. But I'd quite like to get out there and do a little bit of weeding. And I want my daughter to spend some more time out in the garden. At the moment there are these really tall stinging nettles in one particular corner of the garden, and I'd like to get rid of those so at least she can wander around without me worrying about her, you know, getting caught on and stung by anything. So yeah, that's really, really lovely. What else? It was my sister-in-law's wedding last Thursday. So she got married on a boat, and we had a little cruise up the River Blackwater, and an afternoon tea, and then came back down again. It was really, really lovely. Bella loved being on the boat. It took a bit of looking after her, obviously, but it was really, really nice. It was a lovely day. And I should actually be I did have a second FFO during these 2 weeks. I did another one of those Scrabble wedding samplers that I showed on my channel a few episodes ago. But I completely forgot to take any pictures of it. I should have got my sister-in-law to take a picture and send it to me, but I haven't. Maybe if I remember, I'll put a picture of it up here. But she really liked it, so yeah, I think she did anyway. So I did one of those. The weather has been quite changeable here, but this weekend, so it's Saturday the 11th, I think, of June today. And we've got some really lovely sunshine. In fact, I'm quite warm, so I'm going to take this cardigan off in a second. We've got some really lovely weather this weekend, and apparently it's going to be sunny from here on out and quite warm from here on out. So yeah, looking forward to some time out in the garden. Like I said, yeah, Bella got a slide for Christmas and we haven't really been able to use it much, and I really want to buy her a paddling pool. Yeah, and just she loves being outside, absolutely loves it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to spending some time in the garden. So I'm going to pause, take my cardigan off, and grab the FFO. Okay, that's better. I apologise if it looks a little bit different. I don't think it does, but let me show you my FFO. So I FFO'd this. This is Wonder Woman by Bobo Stitch, I think it is. It's a UK based cross stitch company that produces kits, and I bought this from some sort of craft festival that I went to a few years ago, and I think I showed it on my channel in my first episode of Flosstube with it finished, and I finally got around to fully finishing it. So I use a tutorial from Cindy over at Cindy's Cross Stitch, and I will link the tutorial down below. I watched a few tutorials on how to finish a project in a hoop, and hers was the one that I liked the best, in terms of the fact that she didn't lace the back, and I thought that lacing something like this at the back would be quite complicated. And also I wanted to cover the back in something afterwards, and she showed how to do that. So this is what it looks like. It's not perfect, so I covered the back in red felt, and there's a bit too much glue. I use my glue gun, so there's probably a bit too much glue around here, and I didn't cut this circle perfectly, so it's not perfectly done. It looks okay. You can see a little bit of the felt poking up here, so I might trim that, but it's done, and it's currently sitting, I don't know whether you can see, I've got this little easel up here, and it's a bit too big for the easel, to be honest, but it fits on there, and it's balancing, so I'm going to keep it up there for now, maybe buy a bigger easel later. I just bought one off of eBay, and it turned out to be a lot smaller than I was expecting it to be. So let's see whether we can put this back and show you what it looks like up. There you go. So yeah, it's just currently sitting there at the moment, and I really love it. So I originally was thinking, should I get some like Wonder Woman fabric for the back, but then I thought, well, you're not actually going to see the back, so actually red felt is absolutely fine. So yeah, so actually 2 FFOs for this last couple of weeks, which is really lovely. So I'm going to move on to talking about what I have been working on over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to talk to you about what I did to finish off Stitch Mania, and then what I've been working on in June. So the first thing from the end of May was my last new start for May, and it was this kit from Vervico called Baby Boots, and they give you 2 different options of how to stitch it, and you have enough thread to do either option. And this, I've chosen to do the pink option because this is going to be the birth sampler that will go in my daughter's room. So I have not much idea of how much more I've done of this since I showed it to you last. I've written down that I worked on it on the Sunday, so hopefully there's a difference. Let's put this behind it. Yeah, I think I filled in more of this bow, so the darker pink colour on the bow, and then I started filling in a lighter brown on the shoe. So yeah, I think I said before that I couldn't believe how quickly this was stitching up, and I was really enjoying doing it. I don't always enjoy working from paper patterns, but this one was really intuitive. You know, the symbols for each of the different shades of brown, for example, followed on from one another. So I don't know if I can give you an example of that without showing you the pattern. So if I just show you the chart here, so these shades here, if I can remember, I think are all the brown shades from 1 to 6. So you can see how the symbols change from sort of very open to reflect the lighter colours, and then close to reflect the darker colours. And they're all similar shapes. And then this is the same with these shades here are the pink shades. So we sort of go from the lighter ones to the darker ones. So I think you can sort of see what I mean by they've made it easy for you to see which shade you're working with. What I would say is if you're going to do this kit, I would... the shade of brown that I'm working with at the moment is very similar to another shade of brown that I've already stitched. So what I thought would have been better is to switch to stitching a much darker or a much lighter brown, and then leave the shade that's very similar to the other one to do the fill-in, and therefore I don't have to think as much about what I'm doing. I hope that makes sense. But otherwise, I really like the chart. It's nice and big. It's clear, like I said. It's easy to stitch from, and I would definitely buy a Verbico kit again. I can't obviously tell you yet how much floss I'm going to have left or anything like that. But I mean, from the look of things, I mean, I'm not using the browns obviously, but at the moment, I think there's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be one of those situations where there's much more than you need, but I think there will definitely be some leftovers, so that's good. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that at some point. Right. Then I finished off the first section of the Touch of Magic sale. Sorry, a reminder's just come off my iPad. I'll get rid of that. So this is the Touch of Magic stitch along from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and Clue 1 was released on May the 23rd, and I managed to finish it off. So I'm really looking forward to how this is going to come together. And this is the middle of the piece of fabric, and in fact she put a poll up on Facebook the other day saying sort of which way do you want to go for your next clue sort of thing, and I responded saying up. Doesn't really matter to begin with, but yeah, I think there are going to be some really cute and interesting motifs in here, so I am looking forward to doing that. I do really like Caterpillar Cross Stitches patterns, and I do want to do an awful lot more of them. So I finished off Clue 1, and Clue 1 took me in the end 4 days of stitching, and that was while I was marking as well, so I didn't have as much stitching time as I normally would. So yeah, a couple of days perhaps without me marking, something kind of along those lines. I don't know how much bigger the other parts are going to be. There are 4 more parts or 5. I think there are 4 more parts, so maybe like 2 above and 2 below. I think maybe that's going to be the case. So maybe the other parts will be slightly bigger, but still it's definitely manageable in a month. So I'm looking forward to the June Clue being released on the 23rd. And then lastly, in May, I pulled out Christmas Birds by Our Forest Embroidery, and this is what it's going to look like. So I think you will remember that I switched out my whips to finish off Roots of Plenty, so I didn't get as much time on this, but I did do quite a bit actually. Let's put something behind this so you can see what I have got done. So I finished off everything in this corner, so this is page 1 done. So I was really pleased with my progress actually. So I managed to do these lantern motifs across the top, this snowflake, these couple of stars, this big bird, and then this this little bird sitting on this motif here. So yeah, once I got into it, I was really enjoying it again. And then what I was trying to do, I started to come across to the top second page. So I brought this over, and this is the edge of the pattern again. And so next time I pick this up, I'm not sure if I'll get all of page 2 done in a 2-day rotation, but yeah, I'm hoping to get a lot of it done, because I've already got quite a few bits there already, so that's only sort of like half a page. Yeah, I tried rolling up my whips that sit in my bag. Sarah from Stitching Mummy does that, but she actually puts them in like a circular fabric holder or tube, or it's probably not a fabric holder, but some sort of tube, so they sit nicely in there. I think perhaps that will have less creases in it if I roll it, so it's something to, I'll see how it goes with that, see if it's easier to iron once I finished it. So that was May. So I was really pleased with how May went. I liked the format that I used for Stitch Mania. It would definitely be something that I'd consider doing again. You know, I liked working on my whips, but also liked having a number of new starts, but there weren't too many new starts that I felt overwhelmed by how many whips I had at the end of it. So yeah, so we're going to move on to June. So June, I had a start along with Vicky from the Virginia Stitcher. Oh dear. And we are stitching together. We started a stitch along for Forever and Ever by Cottage Garden Samplings. She showed this in her kit parade. If you go back on her channel a few videos ago, she did a kit parade, and she had this all kitted up. So I had this pattern in my stash, so I said let's stitch it together. And so we both started on the 1st of June, and I got a couple of days done. I've been switching patterns, and I'll talk about my trialing my new rotation when I finish talking about my whips. This is stitched on a piece of 32 count pearl grey linen from Zweigart. It's while I'm stitching the fox on as well, and this is how far I was able to get. This is a big bit of fabric, and I've just started in the top left, and I'm working on this leaf here, these leaves and this flower. It's a green flower, but it's still a flower. So yeah, this pattern is deceptive in terms of it doesn't look that big, but it is quite big, and there's a lot of stitching to do in there. But I'm loving how it's coming up. I'm using all the called for flosses, which are Weeks Dye Works. So these are the flosses. So the ones that I've cut are the ones that I've been stitching from so far. People say, like, how do people keep their flosses looking so lovely? Yeah, I don't know. Mine always look a bit ratty. But these are the colours. And you can see the variegation here, in here. And actually I'm really quite liking how that's turning out. So yeah, I managed to get a decent chunk done for that pattern anyway. So I stitched that on the 1st and the 2nd, the first couple of days of the month. Let's put this back in the bag. I like to put things away, otherwise I'm left with chaos at the end of the video, and nobody wants that. Okay, then I started a new project, and these are going to be presents. My friend is christening both of her children at the end of June, and so I was thinking about a present to get them, and I thought, well, why don't I stitch something? And then I was watching Angela from Stitching Brit. I binged all of her videos recently, and in her first video she showed this pattern, and I thought that's perfect for the christening for both of them. So this is a pattern from what is this, issue 189, August 2007 of CrossStitcher magazine. I didn't have this at the time. I bought a copy off of eBay. It was nice and easy to get hold of. I think it cost me a few quid. And the pattern that I am stitching is this one. It's called Patter of Tiny Feet, and it's this one here. And you can do it, it's got two colour choices, the pink or the blue. So I have completed the pink, all apart from putting her name on there. So I think I'm going to do that last. And then there's a little bit of beading up here. See how that goes in a second. This is not a good thing to put behind it. Should we put this behind it instead? Here we go, you can see that a bit better now. So it's got some Light Effects DMC in there. I really like it. I think they're so cute. And I'm hoping Mum's really going to appreciate a handmade gift. So this is stitched on 32 count white even weave. I wanted to stitch it on even weave. I thought it would look a lot more delicate. The only thing I would say is that there's a couple of different grey colours in here, and I don't think you can really tell that there's two different grey colours in there. I'm not really sure why that's the case. The only thing I can think is that because this magazine was published in 2007, the dye lots of DMC have changed, and so therefore there might have been more of a difference later on. Although when you look at the picture doesn't show much of a difference, so I'm not really sure why they're in there. But anyway, I did it as it called for, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And then I've started on the other one, the blue one. Let me show you where I've got to with that. And this is where I'm up to. So you can see I've done the first shoe, I've just not back stitched it, and I'm currently working on the second shoe. So yeah, I'm really happy with those. I've worked on those. I've worked on those for 4 days. Again, I'll talk about my rotation in a second. But I'm really pleased with how that's going. And I am going to get it done by the end of the month when the christening is. So yeah, really lovely pattern. Doesn't take that long to stitch, so if you're looking for a christening present or a birth present, I think this would be perfect. Or like people have naming ceremonies as well, don't they? Yeah, I think this would be a perfect pattern to do. Looks really effective and really pretty, but actually doesn't take an awful lot of time to stitch. Yeah, so there's that one. And then I've been working on Fruits of Plenty, the June portion of Fruits of Plenty. So this is something that I've started working on again today, and this is the 3rd day of working on it. So here we go. So this is June's block over here. So I decided to start with this big chunk of stitching here in the light blue. And then I finished that, and this morning actually, this it was hit this morning. And then I've started to bring this down. I'm going to finish this bit over here, and then I'll go back and do that bit over there. It's looking really good. Keeping on track with this, absolutely love it. This is stitched on a 32 count white linen from Zweigart, and I'm using I should know this off by heart now, shouldn't I? 3750 for the dark colour and 932 for the lighter colour. They were the actual cord for colours. When I originally kitted this up, I was umming and ahhing about what to do, but actually I really liked the original colours, so just went with that. Nothing wrong with that. You don't need to change something if you like it. So that will get a few more days this month to finish it off. And then lastly, on the 7th and 8th of June, so earlier this week, I worked on The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. And oh my gosh, I'm so close to finishing this tail. Part of me was tempted just to carry on the next day, but I was like, no, I'm sticking to my rotation. So this, I'm going to hold this up. This is how far we are with the Fox. So I've got a thread hanging, that's fine. So yeah, you can see I've just got a little bit of filling of this orange colour in to do on his tail, and he'll be done. His tail will be done, and actually he'll be done, yeah. I think he'll be done. I came over and did a tree when I got a bit bored of the tail. But after that, I think it's just trees and snowflakes to do. So I think I can get this done the next time this comes up in my rotation. His tail looks so good. I like the variegation in his tail a lot more than I liked it over here. Yeah, I think these little star motifs didn't work so well for me over here, but I like the way it's variegating in his tail. So yeah, he's really cute. I'm using all the called for colours, and this is the same linen as Forever and Ever, so it's 32 count pearl grey from Zweigart. 32 count seems to be my sort of go-to sort of count of fabric. These are all the flosses. This is how I tend to keep my projects. I have project bags like this. I prefer the A4 ones. I do have some A3 ones that I bought from Amazon, but they're made of a bit of a flimsier material. So can I show you? So this is an A3 one that I've got, and you can see just by the crinkling, whereas this, when you do that, it's much thicker. So yeah, I prefer these A4 bags. These are not from Amazon, these are from WH Smith. I can't seem to find how to order them online, but I can find them in store. I'll have another look, and if I can find the link, I will leave it listed down below like I normally would. So I put everything in here, and then I have a little clear pencil case. Again, I buy these from WH Smith. You can get them a lot of different places. I bought them from B&M. I bought them from the range, and I put all of my floss in the clear pencil case. If I have a bigger project with a lot of floss, obviously that wouldn't work. So I'm kitting up some much bigger projects at the moment, and I still need to think about how I'm going to store floss in those projects, because this isn't going to work for those ones. But that's how I tend to do it. I have one handmade project bag that Megan made me and sent to me. I showed it a couple of videos ago. I would like some more handmade project bags, but at the moment they're an expense that I can't really justify. These bags are £2.99 a bag from WH Smith, and again you can get 10 on Amazon for £14, something like that, but I don't like the quality as much, so I'm happy to pay more for better thicker bag. But I've got loads of these. Every time I'm in WH Smith I pick up 2 or 3 or whatever they've got. So yeah, so they're all of my whips. Talk to you about my rotation. So I'm trying something new with my rotation this month, sort of copying what Laurie does from Once Upon a Stitch. Hi Laurie. She does a 2-day rotation, so she works on something for 2 days and then she puts it away and brings something else out. So I quite like that idea. I wanted to try it this month. So what I'm doing is I'm working on something for 2 days, putting it away, and then I've got an app on my phone called, let's just bring it up, the Spin the Wheel app. and basically I put all of my cross stitch whips in here. So they're actually listed here twice. The only one that doesn't appear in here is the fox, because he's already come out this month. And you just press that spin button and it lands on something, and that's the one I work on next. The only exception to that is, if I show you my planner for this month, you can see I worked on Forever and Ever first of all. Then I knew I wanted to get this Passer of Tiny Feet pattern done, so I did a new start, put it in there next. Then Fruits of Plenty went after that, because that's a section, the June section I need to get done in the month. That went after that. Then I spun the wheel and landed on the fox. Then I've gone back to the Passer of Tiny Feet, and at the moment I'm working on Fruits of Plenty, and obviously that will go down here, and then I will spin the wheel here for something else. And then when Fruits of Plenty and Passer of Tiny Feet are done, then I will just spin every 2 days. I think that makes sense. At the moment I'm really liking it because, and I've heard Laurie say this, you get to the end of 2 days and you think, oh, I want to continue stitching on it. But actually that means that you're going to be excited about it when it comes back out later. And apart from the fact that I have this extra whip, Passer of Tiny Feet, that's going in every time now, I am going to get through like all of my whips in 1 month. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I definitely want to continue doing that. So I'd just be interested to hear what you guys do in terms of your rotations. I know when I first started my Flosstube, I said I was more of a monogamous stitcher, but of course that changes when you get more into cross stitch, and also filming Flosstube videos, you sort of take part in events and you get excited about new patterns, and I think it's nice for me to be able to show you a variety of things on here as well, rather than showing you the same couple of projects all the time. And actually I don't mind having that many whips. I'm not sure I would be someone who had, 100, 150 whips. Hats off to you if you do, and that's that works for you. I don't know whether I'd be able to cope with that many whips. How do you make sure that you are working on them regularly? I don't think you can really. So yeah, I don't think that's for me, but I'm happy with the amount I've got at the moment. I've got a nice amount of variety in there. I'm gonna have a drink. I've got a bottle of strawberry and kiwi Fanta. We went to Tesco this morning, did our food shop, bought a bottle. Wow, actually really parched. So yeah, so that's my rotation. So now I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of haul that I've got. A few things that I bought, 4 things that I bought, and then a couple of things that I was sent. So firstly, I bought this pattern here. This is Sorcerer Mickey. It doesn't say who it's by, so I have got it written down in here. Let me just flick to... It's by 447 Shades of Cross Stitch. They're a seller on Etsy. I will leave them linked down below. I saw... I think I'm not going to be able to remember her channel name. She's an Australian Flosstuber. I will leave a link to her channel down below. I can't remember her name or her channel name. It's ridiculous. She showed this as a whip that she was working on, and I loved it. So I immediately messaged her and said, where did you get it? And she told me. And then it came up on sale last week, so I decided to get it. I love Disney. My daughter is obsessed with Mickey Mouse at the moment, and I just thought it would be a fantastic thing to stitch. It's full coverage, but look at the colours and the detail. It's just lovely. So I decided to get that one. Then Heaven and Earth Designs were having a 30% off sale. Is it still going on this weekend? I will leave a link to the website down below. So when I post this video, maybe it will still be going on. But it was 30% off all of their charts, and I decided that I was going to get one. And I got another Quick Stitch pattern. This is Quick Stitch Spirit of Winter Robin. I've seen Angela from Stitching Brit stitching this, Darren from Dizzy Stitcher, and I love birds. This has got such a wintry, Christmassy feel to it. So again, another smaller pattern. I do have some bigger patterns on my wish list, but I want to actually do at least one smaller pattern first before I even buy a bigger pattern, just to see how I go with it, basically. And then so I bought some Mirabilia patterns with some birthday money last time. I showed them to you last time. And then what I do if I can't find a pattern, if it's sort of like out of print or difficult to get your hands on, I save a search on eBay, and they notify you when something comes up for sale. So I managed to get Autumn Queen by Nora Corbett. So I now own 3 of the seasonal patterns. This wasn't new, it has been opened, and she did list that it is a used chart in the sense that where it's been folded, some of the symbols are difficult to see. They're not impossible to see, you can still see them, but they are more difficult to see. So it's definitely a used chart, but I couldn't pass it up basically. It came up for a fairly reasonable price, so I got it. So the only one of these I have missing now out of the seasonal ones is Spring Queen. I think it's Spring Queen. Yeah, it's Spring Queen. That's another one of the out of print charts. So again, I have a saved thing on eBay. We'll see if it comes up. And the only other thing that I bought was I was watching Brenda from Handwork Maniac. She recently put up a Flosstube, and she'd started a lot of new stuff and bought quite a few things as well. And she showed this pattern, but as a kit. This is Marty Bell's Miss Hathaway's Garden. She had it as I think it was it a panna kit or was it a jamling kit? One of the two, I think. And she wanted to get the kit. She really liked the image, but the amount of floss that you need, I don't know if I'll just show you this page. I can't remember how many, I did count it up, how many colours you needed. I don't think I've written it down. No, I didn't write it down. Yeah, it's a lot of floss that you need. So she decided, actually, if I get it as a kit, it will be more economical. But I think the kit picture was slightly different from the original, and I was a bit put off by that. So I decided to get the original pattern, and somebody was selling this on eBay, so I got it for a really, really good price. A little tip, if you're buying from eBay, a lot of sellers make an offer, and I would always make an offer if that tab is on there. If they're including that on their listing, it's because they're open to it being a lower price. So if you just pay full price for it, you're sort of doing yourself a disservice. So yeah, I would definitely make an offer. I made an offer on this. I got a couple of quid off of it. So yeah, even a little amount is something. So yeah, I'm really pleased. But, yeah. So this is Shakespeare's Wife's Garden. And as an English teacher, that touches my heart, and the beauty of it. It's quite a complicated pattern. I mean, it's massive. There's some couching in here. I've never done couching before. There's some stemmed stitches. I've never done stem stitches, but I figured, and it was obviously full coverage as well. Where is it? No, there's some bits of the sky. It's stitched on light blue Ada, so you can see there are some bits up here that aren't stitched, but essentially it's full coverage. There's going to be a lot of colour changes, a lot of back stitch, but it's just so pretty. Yeah, that's going to take me a while to kit that up. There we go. Okay, then I had a couple of things sent to me. If you guys are aware, Emma Congdon is bringing out a new cross-stitch book called Cross-Stitch for the Heart, and it's coming out, I think, in July. So I reached out to the publisher and I asked, you know, could you send me a copy for me to review on my channel? And they very kindly said yes, and they sent it to me. So I received it a couple of days ago. This is what it looks like. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to show you a couple of bits in here now, but I'm going to do a separate video on my channel where I do a flip through of this and a little review for you guys. I've got both of Emma Congdon's previous publications. So she published Cross Stitch for the Earth, that was her second book, and Cross Stitch for the Soul, which was her first book. And she does sell her patterns on Etsy. Her shop is called Stitch Rovia, and you can find a lot of her patterns in UK cross stitch magazines as well. But this is her new collection, and I'm going to show you my favourite pattern in here, and this is the one that I'm going to be stitching first. Bear with. Oh, that's my second favourite. Okay, here we go. This is it. So this is sort of like a family sampler. So it says, I'm reading this backwards. Family are the people in your life who want you in theirs. The ones who accept you for who you are, who would do anything to see you smile, and who love you no matter what. It's just that I love the sentiment. I love the sort of naturey motifs that you've got up here, the different fonts, the colour palette. It's just so lovely. So yeah, that's just an example, and there were loads of other really, really pretty patterns in here. Another one that I really like is this one. We rise by lifting others, which is a quote by R. Ingersoll. I don't know who that is, I'll have to look that up. But again, the font, the colour palette, the nature motifs, they're just so pretty. And I'm not going to remember her channel name now. Oh no, I remember her channel name, I just don't remember. Lauren. Lauren, her channel name is Cross Stitch Bunny. I've only come across her channel very recently. I will leave a link to it down below. She is another UK cross stitcher. She reviewed this on her channel, and she's actually stitching that pattern. Her latest Flosstube video, she showed her progress on that, and she stitched another one in here. Can I find it quickly? This one here, she's got a finish of this. And it looks so lovely, and she's got it on some hand-dyed fabric that she sells. It's really, really nice. So like I said, look out for a video on my channel where I do a flip through of this and sort of talk to you in a bit more detail about the book. I'm so glad to have this in my possession, so thank you very much to the publisher for sending this my way. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to stitch something from it. I won another giveaway. So Kelly from Kel's Stitches, I mentioned her channel in my previous Flosstube video. She did a giveaway on her channel a couple of videos ago, and I was one of the 3 winners. So I received it a couple of days ago. She sent me some floss tags that she'd made. They're really pretty colours. There's a few different colours in here, so I'll make good use of those. And then she also sent me a couple of needle ones actually. I won the cat one, which is really sweet. It's almost got like a Russian doll vibe to it, this cat. But she also included the button needle minder as well, and she makes her own needle minders. So yeah, she sent those my way too. So thank you very much, Kelly. I will really appreciate those. I don't have, they're my 3rd and 4th needle minders. I don't have a big collection of them. So I really appreciate that. Put that back in the envelope. And then last but not least, I put on here, I bought some zips, some 14-inch zips. I watched Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She's got a video up on her channel where she makes a project bag. She's got a vinyl front tutorial, but then she's got one that's just fabric. And I've watched it a couple of times. Vicky from the Virginia Stitcher, she has made lots of her own bags based on that tutorial. So I really wanted to give it a go. So you need some 14-inch zips for it. So I just bought some white ones off of eBay. I've got some fabric. So it's just finding the time basically to put one of those together. We'll see how that goes. Okay, and then a little bit of drink still. And then lastly, yesterday I got a wonderful package in the mail from my stitchy friend Megan. I've mentioned her quite a few times on my channel. She sent me a birthday package. So she sent me the most amazing card. This is the envelope. And she always does like a wax seal on her envelopes, which I think is just so lovely. Look at this card. I mean, I want to know where people get such pretty cards from. It's got such lovely words on the inside, and she wrote me a lovely note. So yeah, and then she included a couple of presents. I couldn't believe it when I opened them. I really couldn't. And so she sent me this kit here from Magic Needle. This is called Blue Jay and Grapes. Look at the colours on this. I'm in love with it. It's just look, the colour palette here and just the whole thing, and the birds, of course, you know I love birds. And then you've got a couple of bees on here as well. And then these sort of ribbony things. Are they supposed to be vines? Perhaps they're supposed to be vines. It's just incredible. Comes with, it doesn't show you here because that's the pattern, the fabric and the floss. So you get 14 count fabric and pre-sorted cotton threads. And the fabric looks to be, it looks to be a white colour, or maybe it's cream. I can't see. I haven't actually opened these. And the other one that she sent me, again, another Magic Needle kit, is this one, which is, does it tell you the name of it? Spring Song. There you go, it's down there. Spring Song. And again, look at those birds. Look at the absolutely beautiful flowers that surround them. The little nest with the blue eggs in. It's just so pretty. And again, this comes with 14 count Ada, organiser with cotton. How do you say that word? Moulin? Not sure. And a needle. What colour? This looks like it's a light blue Ada. So you presumably, all this background you don't actually stitch. Oh, so lovely. Oh, I'm so grateful. I never expect anybody to buy me a birthday present. And the fact that somebody who I've never even met would spend their own money and be so generous in that way, just really, it blows me away. Yeah, I'm seriously going to love stitching these. So thank you so much, Megan. It was totally unnecessary, but so appreciated. So thank you. I've got quite a few kits to start. I was so tempted when these came yesterday. I was like, oh, should I start one straight away? But I've restrained myself because I've got lots of kits on my birthday, and I want to kind of start one maybe next month. Maybe I'll get you guys to pick which one on my next video. Maybe I'll pull like my 3 favourite ones out, and you guys can vote on which one I stitch. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. It's a good idea. So I think that's everything. How are we doing? Okay, so this is, you know, pretty average length video for me now. Yeah, I wanted to say thank you to everybody for your kind comments. A lot of people wish me happy birthday, so thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your comments and your likes. I try to reply to all of your comments. I hope I have. I don't always reply straight away. Little ones running around, and I'm not always able to right at that moment, but yeah, I hope I have replied to everybody, at least giving your comment a like or a heart. Yeah, thank you so much for all of that. I really, really do appreciate it. This is Flosstube number 12 for me. We're almost halfway through the year now, and I am loving this community. I'm loving putting out content for you guys. I'm loving interacting with people, talking to people about stitching. It's just really, really lovely. One of my friends actually asked me, why did you do it? Why did you start your Flosstube channel? And my response to her at the time was, I like to share. I love sharing what I'm doing, and I don't have an awful lot of friends. Well, I have one stitchy friend, just happen to have one stitchy friend. She was the one that asked me why I started my channel. But for a variety of other reasons as well. You know, you get to meet people that you wouldn't have met if it wasn't for this. You know, like-minded people who are interested in the same things as you. I love the community that surrounds Flosstube and CrossStitch. It's just such a wonderful group of people. I just love, like I said, I love sharing. I love talking to you guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out. Yeah, so look out for a video coming up on my channel, hopefully in a couple of days. I think I'm going to film it tomorrow or the next day, where I do a flip through of Cross Stitch for the Heart. I will leave a link to a couple of places where you can pre-order it down below. Yeah, so look out for that. In the meantime, I hope you all have a lovely couple of weeks. Happy stitching, and I will see you soon. Bye.